This is going to be an introduction in two-point perspective. So I have my photograph and I have a large sheet of white paper so that hopefully I can really show you how vanishing points work. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my eye level. So as you can see, the windows aren't straight across, so that's not my eye level. They're still running uphill, so my eye level has to be above the bottom of the windows. But if you look at the top of the windows, you can see they're not straight across either, so my eye level has to be below the top of the windows. So what I'm looking for here is the place where the clapboards on the left side and the clapboards on the right side just form a straight line, and I think it is right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my green marker to denote the horizon line. Okay. And yes, nothing is long enough. Okay, so the horizon line is basically your eye level. And when you're out painting, you can find your eye level just by holding up a brush, or actually really something straight would be better, like a piece of dowel stick, a pencil, so that you can hold it right at your eye level and you can see exactly where the horizon line is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the vanishing points. So what I'm going to do first is this line from the top of the roof, well, the bottom of the roof, sorry, is look at that. Okay, so this line from the top of the roof, the very top of the roof, if I draw a straight line along there at the top of the roof, then that shows me where my vanishing point is. And then I can just make sure that's accurate by drawing a line along the bottom edge of the roof. And so now this is my first vanishing point. And what a vanishing point means is that all horizontal lines that are on this side of the house, the left side of the house, are going to go to this vanishing point, and all the ones on this side of the house will go to our second vanishing point. So, so if I do this from the bottom of the house where it meets the foundation, then you can see that. So the really important thing to remember is none of these horizontal lines are actually parallel to each other. They're all running at a different angle depending on how high or how low they are compared to your horizon line. So yeah, so the higher up the line is, the quicker or the steeper angle this line has to have to get to the vanishing point. And the same thing with here, the lower it is, the steeper a line running uphill it has to do to get to the vanishing point. So let's check, because we can see two sides of this house and they're both at an angle to us, we're in two-point perspective. So I'm going to check on this side to find the vanishing point, and I'm going to line that up with where the house meets the foundation. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom of the windows. Oh, that marker did not work. Okay, wait, let me try again. Okay, so I'm lining this up with the bottom of the foundation, and I'm going to draw a straight line from that corner to my horizon line, and then I'll just decide to use the top of the windows because that's an easy place for me to find. And I'm going to draw a line from there to the vanishing point. Okay, so now I have my second point in my two-point perspective. It's a little out of the page, but you can see because of the angles are different, the way I'm viewing this house, that this vanishing point is much further out on the right side than it was on the left side. Now, so yeah, so that's basically how it works. is that you have to find your horizon line, and you have to know that any lines that are above your horizon line will appear to run downhill to the vanishing points, and that any lines that are below your eye level, any horizontal lines, will appear to run up to the vanishing point. Now, there is a third vanishing point on the roof, but usually, so let's just draw that out and see if we can find that vanishing point. So I'm trying to find out the angles here of the parallelogram that the roof describes. Oh, not even close. Okay, so let's keep going up there. Generally speaking, well, let's see. Let me just do this and then I'll talk about it. Parallel lines in perspective have to appear to converge or come together. So if you ever notice that if your house is going away from you and the back edge, well, you can see how high up there it is. So I think when you see this, I don't know if I'll ever be able to get it on this piece of paper, actually. But I think you can see now when I extend these lines out that they're not actually parallel. They're getting closer together up here at the far end. It's a little hard for me to show you that with my camera all taped down. But the main thing is these two lines, if you just make them parallel, the lines of the roof, you'd probably be in good shape. But if they start doing that, like getting wider apart as they go further away from you, then that is a definite danger sign. And the same thing would be true here. These lines are converging, but if you see them diverging as things get further away from you, then that is a bad sign too. So this is 2-point perspective. Most buildings you do will be in 2-point perspective. Circles and railroad tracks are in 1-point perspective, but I could show you that a different time. Right now we're doing buildings. So yeah, so step 1, find your vanishing point, your horizon line. Step 2, compare all your other lines to your horizon line, that all the horizontal lines, none of them will be parallel. They will all appear to converge in the distance. Another way you can do this, you don't have to draw these lines all over your page every time. You can use what's called visual perspective, which I'll try to demonstrate here. I always, when I start a building, I start with this front corner, just like here. The corner closest to me is where I'm going to start. And then if I hold something up in front of my eyes at a straight line, like right here, so right here, I hope you can see the red line is running downhill. And so what I can do by having this as a straight line, I can see what kind of angle that line makes. Or I could start here and then I can see what kind of an angle this makes compared to a straight line. This is called visual perspective. Or here I can see what kind of angle that makes compared to a straight line. And the other thing that you have to do that's so important is measuring, just to see, because things are not, you know what things really are, but when you're trying to draw something to look real, it's pretty much a big lie. So the one thing you can also do is after you draw it, you could check and see, okay, this is the height right here. I've got my pencil, my finger resting on the bottom of the, I'm just going to go from the foundation to the peak to this part of the roof. And then I'm going to turn my hand sideways, and I'm going to see that this vertical line that shows me the height of the building is actually longer than the house goes back. And so you know that's not true. You know this house is not a square. You know this is the short side and this is the long side, but because of the perspective, yeah, it doesn't work that way. So like, let's just say here, I'm going to measure this from the bottom of the, oh God, I can't think of that name, to from just the part of the house that's below the roof. And then I put it right here. And I see that this side is significantly shorter than this side here is significantly shorter than the side that's closest to me. Yeah, so A really good description of visual perspective is included in the book Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. So I would recommend that to you. Thank you very much.